Hi, my name is Dear Tiagi, and in this video, I'll be going over my predictions for the AP Physics 1 FRQ and some last-minute tips to help you guys do the best you can on tomorrow's exam. So to start, this is a table I created based on the previous FRQs that College Board has given us. Before I explain this table, I first want to tell you guys what the numbers mean. So each number corresponds to a unit in the AP Physics 1 curriculum. So the units are Unit 1, Kinematics, Unit 2, Forces, Unit 2.5, Circular Motion / Gravitation, Unit 3 is Energy, Unit 4 is Momentum, Unit 5 and 6 are both Rotation, Unit 7 is Simple Harmonic Motion, and Unit 8 is Fluids. So in this table, I've chronicled each question. So before, there was going to be 5 FRQ questions, but since they revamped the curriculum and the test this year, there's only going to be 4 FRQ questions this year, and it'll be 50% of your grade, and it'll be 100 minutes for those 4 questions. Before, there used to be 5. And so what I've done here is I've gone from 2024 to 2019, skipping 2020 because COVID, and I've seen each question and looked at what topic it was from. From this, I'm hoping to try to get an estimate or a guess based on what the 2025 FRQ might be. Please note that this is a very rough guess because this is the first time the exam's running this way. It's like the new curriculum, the new topic, fluids, and it's only 4 questions this time. So my prediction is definitely going to be very rough, and I really don't know how correct it's going to be. But I just want to give you guys an idea of what I think the FRQs might be based on historical data. And also note that I crossed off 2019 Q4 and Q5 because those were before they had a different curriculum here. They had extra topics like electricity and vibrations. So here, looking at the table, we can see that there are a lot of questions revolving around energy, Unit 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, a lot. And we also have a lot of questions on rotation, 5, 6, and some others as well. So here are my predictions for the exam. So my first prediction is there is going to be, I think, an energy FRQ. Okay, we can just see there's a ton of FRQs they've done on energy in the past. Every year they've done an energy FRQ. Sometimes multiple, like here we did 2, here they did 2, so be aware about that. Next, I think there's going to be a rotation FRQ. Again, if you look at the historical table, we see that they've done at least once, or even twice in the year, like 2023, they did twice, 2 rotation FRQs. So rotation, I think, is going to be a big topic. And my next one, this is I'm less sure about. It's either going to be dynamics or momentum. I'm guessing dynamics because they've already hit you with rotation and energy, which are harder topics, so maybe they'll start off with an easier dynamics question, but it could also be momentum. Again, the reason I predicted this is because there's a lot of dynamics and momentum in the historical data. And finally, my final prediction is, and this one's probably going to be kind of obvious, there's going to be a fluids FRQ. It's a new test, new FRQ. They're trying to test you on the new topic, obviously. So I'm guessing, I'm not 100% sure, right? Obviously, I don't know. I haven't seen the test yet. But I'm guessing there is going to be a fluids FRQ. And so what topic or what type of FRQ do I think each one's going to be? Well, first of all, I think that the dynamics / momentum is going to be a lab FRQ. And I think the reason why it's going to be lab FRQ is because I think dynamics and momentum really lends itself well to being a lab question, graphing, force versus acceleration or stuff like that. Next, I think rotation is probably going to be a TBR. Again, I think that translation between representations, which basically means how to convert between different forms of representing physics concepts, like diagrams to charts or charts to equations. And I think it's going to be rotation for this one because it just lends itself, again, well to this. Then I think it's going to be, for energy, it's going to be a mathematical reasoning problem, which again, it makes you apply math to solve for values. And I just think energy lends itself well to that. Sorry. And finally, QQT for fluids. It's a new topic, and QQTs are usually the shortest one. So I think they're just going to test it out maybe with a QQT on fluids. And so those are my predictions for tomorrow's physics exam on the FRQ. Again, please note these are just predictions, they're guesses, I really don't know. I'm just looking at the data and what I've seen on FRQs, and this is what I guess you're going to see tomorrow. Great, so now let's go over some quick last-minute tips on the FRQ. With that out of the way. Okay, so my first tip is that every question is hiding an equation. Okay, even the conceptual ones, they're all hiding an equation. And your job is to find that equation. If you can find that equation, then every problem can be solved in under 20 seconds, honestly. Just look at the problem, read it, and try to see, okay, what is it giving me? What do I need to find out? And from there, you can find an equation. If it's hard to find an equation, then I suggest what you can do is you can write down all you know. Write down all the problem gives you. Not all you know, all the problem gives you with symbols. Okay? This is what I do. And I think it helps because if you write down what a problem gives you with symbols, like let's say it gives me acceleration, it gives me force, and you're looking for mass, you're like, oh, I remember equation with F equals ma, and then you can write that down and like, oh, that's the equation I have to use because that's what they're giving me. So if you're ever stuck in a problem, just like write down all the statements or all the things the problem is giving you in terms of symbols because it can help you remember what equation you're looking for. Second, derive equations, right? Plugging it in is usually a bad idea because you might mess up a number. So derive the equation and then just plug it in at the end, very end. So you can use it for further problems or make sure you're not wrong. This goes along with proportional reasoning. For these questions where it asks you what would happen if you changed it, like doubled it or something, don't use actual values, just like use proportional reasoning. It makes you much less likely to get it wrong. And my final tips, these are kind of obvious, right? Skip hard questions and hard parts in the FRQ. Right, so if you can't figure something out, just skip it. You know, there's much more chance that you'll get a problem in the future or a part in the FRQ that you know how to solve and you'll get points for that. So don't boggle yourself down with hard parts. If you can't solve it, just move on. And of course, you know, basic other tips like get a good night's sleep and all that. And yeah, those are my basic tips and those are my predictions. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.